Facebook has confirmed it pulled their social media accounts of Noah Green, the 25-year-old suspect who mowed down 2 Capitol cops, killing one, before being shot dead at the U.S. Capitol. The social media giant said in a statement to CNN it had suspended Green's accounts from Facebook and Instagram under its policy around dangerous individuals and organization, in the wake of Friday afternoon's deadly attack. After this horrific event, our thoughts are with the Capitol Police and their loved ones, a spokesperson said. We have designated the incident under our dangerous individuals and organizations policy, which means we have removed the suspect's accounts from Facebook and Instagram, and are removing any content that praises, supports, or represents the attack or the suspect. We are in contact with law enforcement as they conduct their investigation. Facebook often removes the accounts of suspects in high-profile killings or terrorist incidents. DailyMail.com has reached out to Facebook for comment. Authorities are yet to officially confirm Green as the suspect, after NBC and the New York Post first identified him, citing law enforcement sources. Green's Facebook page, which was viewed by DailyMail.com before its removal, described the 25-year-old former Christopher Newport University student as a follower of Farrakhan, and included several posts heaping praise on Nation of Islam leader Louis Farrakhan for saving him. Posts on Green's Instagram page, seen by CNN, spoke of conspiracies, that the FBI and CIA were poisoning him, subjecting him to unauthorized operations and targeting him with mind control. In one post just 2 hours before the attack, Green called the federal government the #1 enemy of black people. Green allegedly killed Capitol Police Officer Billy Evans, an 18-year veteran of the force, after mowing him and another unidentified officer down with his blue Nissan Altima at the North Barricade barrier at the Capitol just after 1 p.m. Green then exited the vehicle wielding a knife and started lunging toward officers. He was shot dead by other cops. Capitol Police confirmed Friday evening that the other officer who was struck by the car is in stable and non-threatening condition. The motive for Friday's attack is not yet clear. The tragic incident comes less than 3 months after the January 6 riot on the U.S. Capitol, and 1 week after wire fencing was removed from the area. Green was not known to police in Washington, D.C., but he did have a record in another state, according to law enforcement sources. A Facebook page belonging to Green has now been taken down. Law enforcement sources confirmed to CNN it belonged to the suspect. The page showed he was a fan of the leader of Nation of Islam Louis Farrakhan and contained posts where the user said he was on a spiritual journey after having a tough past few years and recently losing his job. To be honest, these past few years have been tough, and these past few months have been tougher. I have been tried with some of the biggest unimaginable tests in my life, read a Facebook post dated March 17. I am currently now unemployed, after I left my job partly due to afflictions, but ultimately, in search of a spiritual journey. Green went on to describe Farrakhan as Jesus, the Messiah and the raiser of the dead to life, making the blind see, and the deaf hear. I consider him my spiritual father. Without his guidance, his word, and his teachings, that I've picked up on along the way, I would have been unable to continue, he wrote. Preaching to the multitudes, calling 1 million black men to Washington, and standing up to the most powerful government of modern times. He has done miraculous work, not just with me, but with the lives of millions. In the post, Green also wrote that he had been unknowingly taking a drug which he said had caused him to suffer concerning symptoms. I was on the right track, and everything I had planned was coming into existence. It required long hours, lots of studying, and exercise to keep me balanced, while experiencing an array of concerning symptoms along the path, read the post. However, the path has been thwarted, as Allah has chosen me for other things. Green signed off the message. Brother Noah X. The same day, he uploaded an image of a certificate made out to a Noah X that recognized a gift of $1,085 to the Nation of Islam. The Facebook page also included links to videos of Farrakhan and posts about the Nation of Islam. Less than 2 hours before Green drove a vehicle through the barriers at the Capitol, he also posted a series of Instagram stories in which he called the U.S. government the enemy of black people, CNN reported. The U.S. government is the #1 enemy of black people, a caption on a video, read.in. Another Instagram post around a week ago, Green claimed that CIA, FBI and other government agencies had caused him terrible afflictions, including subjecting him to multiple home break-ins, food poisonings, assaults, unauthorized operations in the hospital, mind control. He credited Farrakhan with saving him after the terrible afflictions I have suffered, presumably by the CIA and FBI, government agencies of the United States of America, reported CNN. I have suffered multiple home break-ins, food poisonings, assaults, unauthorized operations in the hospital, mind control, he added. Green graduated from Christopher Newport University in Newport News, Virginia, in 2019 with a bachelor's degree in finance. He played football at the college as well as in high school, where he also ran track. An athletics bio for the university reveals he was born in Fairleigh, West Virginia, and has 7 sisters and 2 brothers. He wrote that the person in history he'd most like to meet is Malcolm X. It is not clear when he first became interested in the Nation of Islam. The Nation of Islam, founded in Chicago in 1930, teaches that black people are the rulers of Earth, who were created first, and who every other race descends from. Malcolm X was perhaps the most famous Nation of Islam follower, and he convinced Muhammad Ali to join. Malcolm X grew disillusioned with the group, however, and left. Members of the Nation are believed to have murdered him in 1965. Farrakhan, 87, is a known anti-Semite whose remarks on race and religion have sparked controversy in the past. Most recently, he told followers not to get the vaccine. His followers are seen by critics as black supremacists, and the Southern Poverty Law Center categorizes the organization as a hate group. Its theology of innate black superiority over whites and the deeply racist, anti-Semitic and anti-LGBT rhetoric of its leaders have earned the NOI a prominent position in the ranks of organized hate, they say. The founder of NOI, Wallace Fard, taught that there would be an apocalyptic overthrow of white domination, insisting that the dominion of evil was to end with God's appearance on earth in the person of Fard. Fard was succeeded by Elijah Muhammad, who was succeeded by Farrakhan. In a statement on Friday afternoon, Acting Capitol Police Chief Yogananda Pittman said, "It is with profound sadness that I share the news of the passing of Officer William Billy Evans this afternoon from injuries he sustained following an attack at the North Barricade by a lone assailant." Officer Evans had been a member of the United States Capitol Police for 18 years. He began his USCP service on March 7, 2003, and was a member of the Capitol Division's First Responders Unit. Please keep Officer Evans and his family in your thoughts and prayers. Fencing that had been in place around the Capitol since the January 6 riot was taken down just last week. Armed National Guardsmen were deployed immediately and have been seen patrolling the halls of government buildings, but police say there is no outstanding threat. President Biden ordered the flags at the White House to be lowered to half-staff and said in a statement, "Jill and I were heartbroken to learn of the violent attack at a security checkpoint on the U.S. Capitol grounds, which killed Officer William Evans of the U.S. Capitol Police and left a fellow officer fighting for his life." We send our heartfelt condolences to Officer Evans' family and everyone grieving his loss. We know what a difficult time this has been for the Capitol, everyone who works there, and those who protect it. I have been receiving ongoing briefings from my Homeland Security Advisor, and will be getting further updates as the investigation proceeds. I want to express the nation's gratitude to the Capitol Police, the National Guard Immediate Response Force, and others who quickly responded to this attack. As we mourn the loss of yet another courageous Capitol Police officer, I have ordered that the White House flags be lowered to half-mast. Vice President Kamala Harris said in a statement that Evans had made the ultimate sacrifice protecting the Capitol and those who work there on behalf of the American people. Doug and I are grateful for the Capitol Police, the National Guard Immediate Response Force, and everyone else who responded swiftly to today's attack, Harris said. And we continue to be proud of the courageous men and women who defend the Capitol, especially during a challenging period when they have faced two violent and deadly attacks. Speaker Nancy Pelosi also ordered flags to be lowered to half-staff in the Capitol in honor of the cop who was killed. Pittman confirmed Evans' death in a press conference soon after the attack. It is with a heavy heart that I come here to shed some light on the incident that occurred at the U.S. Capitol. At approximately 1:02 this afternoon, a suspect entered what we refer to as the North Barricade of the Capitol. The suspect rammed his car into two of our offices, then hit the North Barricade barrier. The suspect exited the vehicle with a knife in hand. Our officers then engaged that suspect. He did not respond to verbal commands. He started lunging towards officers, at which time USC officers fired upon the suspect. Two U.S. Capitol Police officers were transported to different hospitals. It is with a very heavy heart that I announce one of our officers has succumbed to his injuries, she said. She did not reveal whether or not the suspect said anything while carrying out the attack, but said he was not known to the police. Neither the House or Senate is in session this week, so lawmakers are back in their home states instead of being in the Capitol building. An emergency alert was sent to congressional offices telling people to seek over due to an external security threat. No entry or exit is permitted at this time, it read. You may move throughout the buildings, but stay away from exterior windows and doors. If you are outside, seek cover. The White House did not appear to have an immediate change in security posture in response to the situation at the Capitol. President Joe Biden had left to spend Easter at Camp David shortly before the incident occurred. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said there is a member of the National Security Team, an acting chief of staff and a member of the press team traveling with him, as a standard operating procedure. Traveling with Biden this weekend are Bruce Reed, Assistant to the President and Deputy Chief of Staff Johannes Abraham, Chief of Staff and Executive Secretary for the National Security Council, Anthony Bernal, Assistant to the President and Advisor to the First Lady, and Stephen Guilford, Special Assistant to the President and Personal Aide to the President. The deadly attack comes less than 3 months since the violent insurrection at the U.S. Capitol on January the 6th. That day, a violent mob of Trump supporters stormed the Capitol building in a riot that sent lawmakers fleeing for their lives and left 5, including Capitol Police Officer Brian Sicknick, dead. Two other Capitol cops died by suicide in the weeks following the riot. Driver broke through the only remaining security fence outside U.S. Capitol building after other 7-foot razor wire steel fences and roadblocks were removed a week ago. The incident at the U.S. Capitol unfolded just 1 week after 7-foot razor wire steel fences and roadblocks around the complex were removed more than 2 months after the deadly January 6 riots. Steel fences and roadblocks were put in place to fortify the complex in the wake of the Capitol riots. The security measures, which at one point included wide-scale fences and 25,000 National Guardsmen, have slowly been scaled back over the past 2 months. An outer security perimeter that was in place around the wider Capitol complex was finally removed last week. It included a 7-foot steel fence that had cost roughly $1.2 million a week. An in layer of barricades and fences around the Capitol building itself still remains. It was this inner security perimeter that the knife-wielding suspect drove his car through on Friday. Authorities decided to keep the inner perimeter of fencing as law enforcement and lawmakers continue to try and hash out a long-term plan for security. Capitol Police had said last week, when it announced it was taking down the outer security perimeter, that they were ready to quickly ramp up security at a moment's notice, if it was needed. The political pressure to remove the security fencing had been building for several weeks. Members of the D.C. National Guard were deployed in the wake of Friday's incident. There are currently still 2,300 National Guard personnel based in D.C. from the support mission that was initiated in the wake of the riot. Secretary of Defense Lloyd J. Austin III last month approved a request by the Capitol Police for continued National Guard support through May 23. Armed National Guardsmen were deployed immediately after Friday's incident, but was not immediately clear if they were among the 2,300 on duty for the support mission.